What is going on, YouTube, y'all squad? This is your boy Yocrates. This is your review for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is season 13, episode 6. So y'all give me a second. I'm just trying to yeah, okay, there we go. I was trying to make sure that the microphone is on, because people sitting here complaining about audio and whatnot for something that they get for free, but that's neither here nor there. So you have Kyle, Dorit, and Crystal. So they first rehashed the Garcelle versus Dorit thing. And Dorit said, well, from the previous night at Garcelle's event. And Dorit felt apologizing was the right thing to do. You felt like it was the right thing to do, not that it was the right thing to do, but okay. Then we rehashed the Kyle versus Sutton, and Kyle reenacts Sutton's reenaction of Erica with the whole elevator thing, and then says Sutton was being aggressive, and then it turned mean, and it's like I love buzzwords, I really do, I really don't. And it's clear that we're sitting here, we're trying to paint a certain picture, and this is one of those instances where, and I know it all too well, when we can't, or when someone can't control you, a manipulator. Can Capricorns be manipulators? Yes, we can. Like I said, my eldest sibling is a Capricorn, and trust me, I know this all too well where I can't control you. So I'm going to control how people see you and then try to run a smear campaign. I know this all too well. But anyway, it's doing that. And Dorit co-signs the BS. Now, Crystal is laughing. Now, she is it's clear she's trying to be a part of the Feral Force floozies. It's very, very clear that she's trying to do that. And she's been trying to do that, even though they don't see it for you. And the first chance that they can get to come at you and disregard you, they most definitely will. Now, yeah, she somewhat comes to Sutton's defense, but not really. So, again, I mean, I ain't never took my eye off of Crystal because, she been real fugazi. And Kyle asks, what does Dorit think that this whole thing is? And then Dorit says, oh, well, Sutton is a drinker. And Kyle says that she wants to repair things with Sutton. But she needs her to become. So now we're sitting here policing how people are, how people feel, but don't know about it. But see, again, if we try to do that to Kyle, it's a whole thing. Because when is Kyle ever calm? She's not. She's not. And one thing about the Housewives shows is they love to make someone an alcoholic. And it's so funny that now Kyle wants to say, well, she did that to her sister, Queen Kim. So, I mean, there's that. But you want to say and call somebody an alcoholic, but now you're really distancing yourself from alcoholism because you have all the traits of it. But I'm going to let that alone. So we get Sutton and Garcelle. Garcelle was pleased with the turnout, of her viewing party, which is great. And Erica had Sutton and Erica had a little interaction at the party, but it wasn't much. Like, it was a real, if you blink fast, you would have missed it type of interaction. Garcelle brings up the whole elevator stunt because Garcelle believes that was planned. I do too. I'm sorry. Look, I am very much an optimist when it comes to a lot of things, but in other things, I'm very much a pessimist. And again, the cap in me, trust issues, overthinking and being overly critical, analytical, and yeah, that was just way too much of a coincidence, if you ask me. So Sutton says Kyle defended her friend, talking about Erica, though it has nothing to do with Kyle, and she feels Kyle likes to insert herself into her business, which I can see that, and we've seen Kyle do that before, especially last season with Lit Liquor. And Sutton brings up Kyle's, drastic changes and the new ring and the this and the that, where something isn't quite adding up. Now she's having this conversation with her best friend, well, I guess we can call them best friends, with her best friend. And like, this is them having it. Keep this in mind that she is sharing this with Garcelle, because this is going to come up at the very end of this particular review. And Garcelle says in her interview that she doesn't notice, people's jewelry, except the fact that Dorit has the same jewelry that was supposedly stolen in the bird. When I tell you I hollered, I was like, Garcelle, I'm here for it. Because that was shady and petty. If this is episode 6, I'm already ready for the reunion. Not in a bad way. It's just they've been saying so much shady, catty stuff in these interviews that I'm like, man, This reunion finna be on and popping, and I hope and pray that Andrew holds Kyle to the dang on. I hope he holds her to that seat and really gives it to her. Now I'm gonna give Kyle some points towards the end because she was Capricorn, and I love to see it. Okay, I'm gonna give her a little bit. I don't normally give Kyle much, but she was Capricorn, and I'm here with you when you do that. So Sutton lets us know in her interview that she doesn't care about Kyle's marriage, but she cares about Kyle. I'm like, well, I mean, you better say a word. And sometimes that is the whole thing of I care about you as a person. This union that's between you and Mauricio, that ain't got nothing to do with me. And it's clear that she's not friends with Mauricio because then she probably would. But her first thing is I care about Kyle the person. Now this is one of those where I want to know why she cares for Kyle the way that she does when Kyle has clearly given you her whole butt to kiss. But again, go off. Garcelle feels that both of them should, clear the air with each other, and it shouldn't just be one-sided. We'll see how that plays itself out. So now we get Erica with a talent manager, Alexis. Erica talks about moving forward. Erica let her previous publicist Jack go, but they're still friends because that was the whole thing of, well, who let what happened at the I believe it was the season finale last year, who let that stuff leak to the public. And you had Sutton questioning Erica, and she was like, okay, well, I share the same publicist, I believe she said, as Nikki Hilton, so why would my publicist do that, but you let him go, which means that, yeah, he probably did run his mouth, but they still friends. Okay. And so pretty much, even though Alexis is a talent manager, she also does, publicity, so she kind of needs that too. So Alexis needs her to take accountability for her actions if she truly wants to move forward. And then Erica gives this whole little thing of what in her little apology, and I will say little because it didn't hit for me, that she did at the retreat or intervention or whatever you want to call it, like what they had at the very beginning for them to attempt to move forward so everything doesn't drag this season. And Erica wants to perform again. And from what we've seen in the previews, we're going to see some of that. So, yeah. So we get Garcelle and Jax. And I want to say I really love this scene. And I love that we're getting this type of authenticity from Garcelle. And we're not doing this whole, she's trying to date someone, which we all knew, like, okay, this is just for a storyline. Like, and this is what you do when you really don't have nothing, or you ain't trying to put all your stuff out on Front Street. But I love this authenticity. So Garcelle, shares with Jax, she couldn't have these type of conversations with her parents growing up. When she was a child, different generation, and a lot of people will say, oh, well, it was a different generation. Yeah, it was, but it also depends on the person as a parent. If you don't create the space for your child to talk to you, it has nothing to do with that. I mean, the generation and what was going on during that time does matter, but it also boils down to just a person. And again, if you didn't like what was done to you, you have the ability to change, and it's easy to continue to go with things the way they are. The hardest thing is to change and do what you know is right, because again, sometimes the easiest thing to do is the worst thing for you, and the hardest thing to do typically is the best thing for you. Catch that. And then she shares with him how, he hurt her with the comments when they were on the beach, and she knows he wanted the family to stay together. And babe, when I tell you Jax hit her with the one-hitter quitter, and he says that he knew since he was 8 what had happened and that his father was to blame. He looked it up. Now, he's either 16 or 17, which means that he's known for having his life how this whole marriage dissolved. Baby, when I tell you Garcelle was like, wait, you knew? Wait, what? And it wasn't that he knew. You knew since you were 8, and you held on to this and you didn't say nothing. And Garcelle is shocked and even wants to know, like, how did he, like, really, really find out? And why would you even look into it and also, why wouldn't you tell me? And she says, in her interview, she had her ex's phone and saw an I love you text and initially thought that it came from either her or the boys, but then looked closely and saw that she didn't recognize the number and when they were in the car, her ex-husband and the boys, she kept pressing him about the matter, and one of the boys that she believes to be Jack says, tell mommy what? And that was enough to get them to both to stop talking about it. And chances are that probably was what piqued his interest. And after the union dissolved, yeah, look, kids got iPads and everything else. If you think they can't sit here and do some research and look some stuff up, oh, you are sadly mistaken. And we're in a digital age too. So Jack tells her that he doesn't hold it against her neither. Half of marriages end in divorce. With statistics, and she just looking like, even says to him, she doesn't know who he is. This is the son that you helped to raise. And one great thing that I love is the fact that he shows that he has the ability to be able to, verbalize what he's feeling and what is going on, meaning that he's going to be an excellent communicator. So whoever he ends up with, that person is going to be blessed. Shout outs to him and shout outs to Garcelle. And I might even say shout out to the dad, even though we don't know, but maybe the dad has helped in that. We don't know. And she appreciates him for being how he is because he's helping her grow. And I love that she said that because a lot of parents feel you can't teach me nothing because you the child, when the child can teach you a whole lot about yourself. And often children can be a mirror of their parents. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say. So we get Kyle and Morgan. We meet the infamous Morgan, and Morgan says that she got into it with someone on IG about Kyle and whether or not she was having a midlife crisis. Morgan lets us know that Kyle stalked her, has shared a post of hers, I guess her music or whatever, so Kyle posted that to her Instagram. And of course, that caught her eye. Her people saying, oh, Kyle Richards is sharing your stuff. So that's how, they linked up and whatnot. Morgan has been sober for 6 years. And Morgan even said, like, when you sit here and you change up your lifestyle, you're going to lose friends. It's not a bad thing. But if all you do with your friends is drink or do drugs or do this, and you no longer do that, then really what do you have in common with them? Sometimes they're going to drop off, dropping gems. And I'm pretty sure Morgan is younger than her, but come through Morgan. And Morgan is living life, free as a bird. And, that's something that is, tantalizing and, yeah, tantalizing to Kyle because she doesn't live that freely. And we also see that Kyle gave her a tattoo of the letter K. We know what that means. So now we get Kyle and Mauricio following Kyle getting her a tattoo because that's what she was doing in this scene. And Kyle hasn't read Mauricio's book, telling. She shares that she got another tattoo, and he asks if it's his name. And I believe he asked her that first before you're like, no, love being like, okay, so has she got your name tatted? It wouldn't have been a problem. So is it really that she got a tattoo, or is it because it's not your name, or is it because that she's going off the script that she's been going on for so long, and you really see that, oh, you about to lose her? Ain't none of my business. But she tells him no, and then she says no one will get to see it because of the location that it's at, and he's like, hopefully I get to see it. And she says, you're seeing it now, but him saying, hopefully I get to see it raises questions. So are y'all really not intimate? Again, that's none of my business, but that's leading towards, confirming the rumors that are out there. So we get Sutton, Alessandra, and Dorit. Pretty much is all about her being paired up with a bachelor. Sutton says if Dorit fell in love with PK, then maybe she shouldn't be so picky. Again, comments like this, we gonna hear it at the reunion. But because we know that Dorit and PK are separated, it's going to be interesting to see how Dorit wants to come at her about this because, yeah, it's insistent and whatnot, but are you with him right now? I just can't wait. And I really need Sutton to just be on one. And don't look to Garcelle to sit here and back you up. I just need her to be on one. So Alessandra, feels that Sutton is self-aware, but Dorit, says no. Sutton doesn't like Bachelor number. She likes Bachelor number one, I believe. Doesn't like Bachelor number two because he's wearing black on black on black. And then Alessandra, asks her how would she feel if someone, made an assumption on her based off of what she would wear or what she wears even on the first day. Baby, when I tell you they did the flashback with her and that kitty sweater, because Dorit looked at her like, really? We're doing that? And yeah, so I guess she's going to be linked up with Bachelor number one. So then we get Cal's party, and it's pretty much a CBD THC event where it seems like, I don't know if they're necessarily micro dosing, but they're going to have a plethora of snacks, meals, hors d'oeuvres, or whatever. With a certain dosage, they get to pick what dosage they want, and it's meant to, slowly get them to a state of almost of euphoria, but not like you tripping or whatever. And then it's to keep them there, and then towards the end of it, help to bring them back down. Sounds like a great experience. Not even gonna lie to you. And then we see Anna Marie. This is Kyle's friend, so now we're getting introduced to her. She's an Aries. I'm just like, well, I already don't like you. Look, Aries out there, don't even take it personal. It's just one of those things. Me and Aries, it is what it is. She works out 6-7 days a week because Kyle asks her how often does she work out, and now that she knows it, even though Kyle already knew it, she then shares because I have a friend that is saying all this about me working out, da da da. And again, I'm pretty sure this conversation was already had, but again, here you are putting stuff, a bug in somebody's ear, trying to control how people see a certain person, talking to her friends right then and there, Faye, Resnick, and I forget the gentleman's name that was there, but again, trying to sit here and just put all this stuff out there. And then Sutton comes in with Cynthia the Bailey, and they said, now look, they don't say this is Cynthia from Real Housewives of Atlanta fame. It's just Sutton's friends, not Garcelle friend, but Sutton's friend. All right, go off. And then Camille and Denise, we find out, are coming, and then we get a flashback from 2010. I am shocked that they actually put this in, because in essence, it seemed like what the medium said, in essence, is coming to fruition. But I think it was okay for them to do it because all three of them, Kyle, Faye, and the gentleman, we're all pretty much reenacting that moment, saying how Mauricio would never feel her, believe that, all this other stuff. So they might as well have just went ahead and played. And I'm like, Kyle, you are so stupid for that. And of course, Faye and Camille don't see it for each other. So we may see something pop off between those two next episode. Probably not. And of course, they bring up the whole e-cigarette, all that stuff. So then, Denise and Garcelle, we found they're not going to participate in the CBD experience. I think Denise isn't doing it either, A, because she appears to have already been on something, or maybe it's because there's already allegations that have happened from this show, and it's just, and she even said that she has done cannabis twice before, and I guess she was alluding to someone on the cast. I'll just leave that word thought. And yeah, and I think Garcelle really doesn't want to participate, more or less because, again, Hollywood, she is, actually, acting, and now she is an executive producer and whatnot. And maybe it's not the fact that she's doing it because, again, it's legal, it's Hollywood and all other stuff. But I guess she just doesn't want to put herself in a situation where she could potentially say or do something, and now that's going to hurt her, down the line. So it could be that. But I think for this, she would have been okay. And for what it was meant to be, it really could have just been some good television that they would have, almost like Roni, just with the girls getting obliterated, one particular person crapping on the floor while they're on vacation, and then thinking that not even thinking, I guess, having the staff to, clean up behind them, just random stuff where you can't make this up, and it's just them being in the moment. Could have been good. We currently didn't get it, and we may not get it next episode. Faye and Camille initially are sitting across from each other, and Faye just like, I ain't finna do it. And switch seats and end up sitting next to Crystal. So I guess Faye's whole thing is, I'm not even going to give you a moment. Sure that you pressed and bothered, but hey, I get it. So Sutton and Kyle, Sutton pulls Kyle to the side in her house, in Kyle's house. And Sutton says, she wasn't feeling like she wasn't being herself the first time that, they were around each other. I believe that was at somebody's party. And, she had met with her ex-husband. He got a big promotion. He's moving to London. Wanted to take both her and her son, which, caused her to be off. And she had even said that, but that's not happening. So, we're still going to have to go to court. I'm probably going to get more child support, this and that. I'm going to have my son full time. Now, this is where I get Kyle, and I don't like, I get Kyle because Kyle is upset. She's in her bag right now. And this is her Capricorn, where I'm not even trying to empathize with you right now because in Kyle's mind, you're trying to come for me. Which Kyle, if you didn't come for her first, wouldn't be here. But I get it. So I'm not gonna have any empathy for you or what you're going through because I see what you are trying to do. And Kyle's whole thing is just say it. If you finna be big and bad, just go ahead and throw it out there. And Sutton and Kyle's whole thing is so you're mad because you're about to sit here and your child support's going to go up. And Kyle intentionally is overlooking the fact that what Sutton is saying is not that. Is Sutton has already made it clear that her husband is very powerful. He has a whole team. So it's not just that, but they're going to have to go to court. And it's probably going to be very taxing for her to have to go through this process of having to fight for something. And she doesn't want to have to go through that. I know what Sutton was trying to say. And Sutton is like me. I'm going to give you the whole story so I don't leave anything out. And sometimes in the process, people get lost in translation or they cling to one particular thing because they are hell-bent on misunderstanding you, or they don't want to hear what's about to come next because they know that it's something they don't want to deal with. Again, know these moves. So neither of them. So I already said that. So yeah, Cal isn't sympathetic to Sutton, getting more money, and says Sutton makes up excuses when she behaves like this. But Kyle, you do the same dang on thing, and nobody calls you out on your bull crap. But moving on, Sutton asks Cal, "What is your excuse?" I'm like, "Come on, Sutton, you better say it." And Crystal interrupts, and Sutton says, well, then we can just sit if she doesn't want to be honest. And then Cal says she doesn't know if what it is with something like, is it the pills for her fee, or maybe if it's her drinking alcohol. So you're pretty much giving her Erica's storyline from last season where we really couldn't talk about Erica mixing pills and alcohol, but you want to throw it on Sutton. Again, I'm not mad at Kyle only because it's a typical Capricorn thing. You coming for me, I'm just finna go ahead and lay it out. And this was the beginning of it where you want to play, we gonna play. You want to come for me, I'm gonna come for you right back. I'm finna lay it out all out on the table since you really want to play. And when that happened, yeah, you're playing with her character. Sutton wasn't having it. Sutton got up. Again, I'm not applauding Kyle for what she did. I just understand it. The only thing that I'm upset with Kyle about is a real cat would have just been like, yeah, I'm going through this and this and this and what? You happy? But now that we're talking about me, because then it would have been, now let's talk about you. since you want to try to air me out. Let me air you out right quick. But it is what it is. So I said that. Okay, so then Sutton walks away. Kyle says, if there's something you want to say, just say it. And I get what she's doing, but again, why does she need to say it when you already know what it is? Or maybe she just wants the satisfaction of Sutton saying it, whatever. So Erica asks where's the hostess because Sutton had just sat down. And Sutton says, in denial about something. Everybody's like, ooh. So it's like, oh, okay, well, we doing this. And then the chef, gets what their doses are. Some lady said they don't want none. I think the Reese said she only wants to, do one. I think it's milligram or whatever. I forget. Like I said, I don't do dosing, so I don't know. But she wants like the lowest dosage, which is just like, okay. Crystal wants the girls to be clear. She wants them to clear the air because she just walked in on something. And it's like, okay, Crystal, let's keep the party going. Again, you ain't really giving us nothing except using your brother as storyline, but all right. Cal says she doesn't like feeling that a friend is making a veiled threat. Ain't nobody threatening you, girl, but okay. Go off. She says, if you have the balls to bring it up, then have the balls to say it. And Sutton says she was being real about her feelings and her life and wanting Cal to do the same. And there it was. That was the statement where I'm going to sit here and since I'm being honest with you, hopefully you will reciprocate and just tell me the truth. And it doesn't always work that way, Sutton. And you opened yourself up for pretty much what you're getting. Just saying. And then says, is there anything going on, like with the workouts? And then it's the whole eating thing. And when she said the eating thing, Cal, again, Capricorn, was just like, says she can't believe that she has the guts to say that when she doesn't eat at all and lets us know that she plays around with her food to make it seem like she eats something. And everybody was looking like, I know you did. Look, Kyle was fed up. Again, I get it. Even though Kyle, you brought a lot of this on yourself, and you be the main one that's quick to air somebody else out because you aired your sister out about, being the drunk. You be the first one to want to dig into somebody else's business because you don't want them digging into yours. Again, we know this, we see this, and now you're on the opposite end. So, like, I don't feel bad for you, but again, she's a Capricorn that feels slighted. So, yeah, she's going for her neck. I get it. And then Anna Marie wants them, as friends, to just say what it is. And Sutton says, "Is there anything going on in your personal life you would like to share?" Anna Marie is like, "With what though?" And Garcelle says, "Her marriage." Now, once that happened, Kyle looked at her real natural, like, "I know you didn't." And Erica was like, "Really?" And Garcelle says, "Yes." With the wedding band. It was getting good. I love, because Kyle really gave her that look of. But here's the thing, Kyle. Uh, you just get, for me. I was here for it only because when Kyle tried to defend lip liquor at the reunion, and then Garcelle turned to her and got in that, baby. I was like, So yeah, but Kyle just mad. And Sutton, says you haven't been wearing your wedding ring, and Kyle is playing around with her band, like, oh, the one that's in the band, and she's real timid about it. So it's like, okay, she's playing defense, but about to go on the offense. And Garcelle says she thought that it might have been a makeup band. And then the girls all talk about how their respective men have cheated. Garcelle said she had a cross. I believe one of the girls said they had a rose. And, just thought that's what it was. And it became real light, which was good. It was about to go dark, but it got real light. And Kyle asked Sutton, is she saying her husband cheated on her? And Sutton is like, did I say that? It's what you're implying, but you like, did I say that? And then Kyle says, I share at the retreat that this hasn't been the best year for us. Is that not enough? This is when they should have been like, hell no, it ain't enough. Because that's when Camille could have been like, what about with me? And all the women could have been like, what about with me and my da. But they letting Kyle skate just a little bit. It is what it is. Pretty decent episode. Here for it. I have a lot to say, as you can see. So, yeah, that is all that I have, you all. You will be getting Miami after this, obviously. And again, if the cable is cabling, you'll get Potomac tonight. If not, you'll get it sometime tomorrow before the panel. And if I'm not mistaken, we will be at Assembly Sakina's house for the Whether You Like It or Not panel tomorrow, talking about Potomac. So thank you all so much for being here. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all for Miami. Peace out.